Thank you for joining us tonight. Now imagine leaving everything you've ever known to make a dangerous journey on foot just for the chance to practice your faith freely. On this day in 1846, 1,600 Mormon pioneers made that exact decision, leaving Nauvoo, Illinois, to start a journey that would end 1,200 miles later in Utah. Exactly 174 years later, hundreds gathered to remember an important moment in our country's history of religious freedom. WGEM's Frank Healy reports on the lessons it still holds today.
We're from Cedar Falls, Iowa. It's about 3 hours away. It's an important event to sort of commemorate the expulsion or the leaving of the pioneers because of the persecution that they're facing down here.
Hundreds of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, including Jeff Gable and his family, spent the morning tracing the steps of Mormon pioneers. Those pioneers left from Parley Street in Nauvoo, traversing the icy Mississippi to search for a place to live where they didn't face religious persecution.
I think it means a lot to us. It's great that we can be in a place that we can worship how we want to and not have to face the persecution that the pioneers had to.
Steve Risley, who works to maintain the historic sites in Nauvoo, says it's an important part of not just the church's history, but American history.
They were seeking safety and religious freedom. They ended up colonizing many places in the West, and Nauvoo is a monument to that.
Joseph Johnston, a historian who studies the Mormon pioneers, says while things are better for the Latter-day Saints today, there's still progress that can be made in accepting people of all faiths.
My ancestors were among those who headed out 174 years ago, and they've just always been with me.
It's part of why Gable says it's important his kids understand the past.
Having the kids just see a little bit of, it's a 5-minute walk versus a year-and-a-half walk, but just a little bit of the idea of what people had to go through to just practice religion how they wanted to.
Frank Healy, WGEM News, Nauvoo, Illinois.
And members of the church say the first pioneers who left were able to cross the Mississippi River because it was frozen solid at the time. Later, pioneers left via ferry once the ice began to thaw. Now,